Well, hello there and welcome back, everyone. We are doing 30 days of radical acceptance, and we are reading the manual for teachers in the Course in Miracles. And today is the 9th day of our practice together, and we have a special guest, the full moon setting in the background. So thanks for being here, moon. It's a beautiful day out here on the lake this morning. It's in the 50s. I got a good yoga session in out here. It's really peaceful. I've got the sun rising in front of me, and I can't express how grateful I am to be doing this, to be here in this place, and to be learning right alongside of you. So the concept, we're still just kind of moving through these characteristics of teachers of God, and I realize that I haven't touched on every single one, but it's just the way everything unfolded. So they're all ripe with opportunities to learn, and I totally suggest reading all of them if I didn't cover one. So the 9th one today is faithfulness. And there's definitions in the world about faith and what it looks like to be faithful. But from the Course in Miracles perspective, the Jesus definition, as I like to call it, is really unique. So I'm actually just going to pull out one sentence or two sentences from this section, but I highly suggest studying the whole thing. And then we'll talk about something that came to mind when I was reading this. So faithfulness in the middle of this passage says, to give up all problems to one answer is to reverse the thinking of the world entirely. And that alone is faithfulness. So it came to mind, and this actually kind of came to mind last night, was the idea of the things that we're willing to share with the world, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. More or less it's conscious, but there are things about ourselves that we hide out of shame or regret, disappointment, embarrassment, whatever it is. And, people have separation in their lives in terms of like, this is my private life and this is my public life. And these two identities could be similar, but they also could be very, very different. So the thought that came to my mind yesterday was around social media and what we present as our life on social media. Now, by no means is there an expectation that we're supposed to share every single detail on every single platform that we're on. We could, but that's not what I'm suggesting. But what I am suggesting in this idea of radical acceptance is looking at yourself and looking at the things that you don't share and why. For me, the biggest experience of my life right now is my relationship with my partner and the way that it brings out parts of me and aspects of me and emotions in me that I have not seen before. And certainly, like we had a discussion the other day where he and I are in a relationship that is intimate and vulnerable. And so when our, wounds and different things come up, it hurts so much more than if I were with a person who I'm normally a bit, just boundaries but guarded around, if that makes sense. So when you're with your really close friends, I would call this a holy relationship. It doesn't have to be a partnership where you're like intimate lovers, but you have very close relationships, and there's sort of a space there to grow and explore who you really are. And there are other people where you have relationships with that it feels like there's a different kind of boundary or a different like a moat that's around you that's like, well, you don't have to worry about letting that person in as much because you don't have an agreement that it's a holy relationship or something. So anyway, I'm not getting too far away from the idea of faithfulness. When you are noticing that you're unwilling to share certain parts of yourself around other people, I think it's important to look at the fears that are there. What is the reason? Like, what are you holding back and why? And the idea that we do so much healing with other human beings, perhaps maybe if you look around in the beings in your life, maybe there are people that you could be a little bit more vulnerable with. Because if you're really holding a lot in your body, in your mind, it's going to create, you know, sickness in your life in the future, or, you know, there's a consequence to just like really holding on to so much and keeping yourself so, you know, composed and put together in front of everyone. So I think with faithfulness, it just makes me think about vulnerability and openness and honesty, and perhaps you could have faith in more humans in your life, that you could really let down that guard and open up and ask for help and say, this is something about myself that it feels weird to say this. I feel embarrassed about this. I feel a little ashamed to talk about this. But when you open up that communication, that, you know, infinity loop between beings that you're experiencing this incarnation with, there's so much healing for you. And that's just seeing the Christed version of that person with your heart open, the Christed version of you interacting with the Christed version of them in truth and openness and honesty, because everybody wants to achieve some sort of healing. Everybody is in a body in this incarnation right now because they want to learn, they want to experience, they want to grow and expand their consciousness. And you can't do that if you're hiding behind a mask or an identity that you've constructed that doesn't really let your truth shine through. And all of us, our truth has got some blemishes and some imperfections that we have no reason to be ashamed of. So I think when I read that line, to give up all problems to the answer with a capital A, which I think is love and God and all that is, and basically all of our human fellow friends here are God in a body as well. To give up all problems to one answer is to reverse the thinking of the world. So it's like another hack. And that alone is faithfulness. So today, what I want to say is I am faithful, and I am going to turn to my brothers and sisters today faithfully, knowing that I have something to learn from them, and I also have something to offer them. They have something to learn from me, and they have something to offer me. And our healing is a mutual agreement that we made before we incarnated. This is what we're here to do, and why not be the person that takes the step forward to say the thing that you've been not allowing yourself to say, to share that part of yourself that you're not sharing for some reason. And you know who it is, you know what it is, and it's okay. Forgive yourself, be brave, be faithful, and open up. Give that a try today. Enjoy, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.